Talkin Sauce, episode 130, 130.
130, the big 130.
On a Saturday.
Coming out on a Saturday, dude. Is it going to be coming out on Sunday now, or are we still going to... I'm assuming it's still
This
coming
shit's
out Monday.
coming out Tuesday like it's coming out Wednesday like the rest of it, dude. If there was a green screen behind us still, this shit was coming out next week. 2 weeks. Every topic was going to be hell outdated.
Oh,
me?
Man.
Speaking of outdated, pick it up.
Pick it up. I have no idea, man.
What's going on with it?
Dude, fucking...
Let's start with what if.
Start with what if, man. Off the
Start
top.
there.
Get the juices
Otherwise,
going.
But before that, anything else like going on that like in your life
In my life?
that's relevant?
Not really, man. Not much really at all. Not even a little bit. Dude, we went to this...
What about ball hockey?
I mean, it's
Season
happening. No, new season's starting tomorrow.
That's what I thought.
But, parents' birthday. So, good luck, boys. Good luck out there, boys. But yeah, dude, nothing
You lead
much.
your team. Never mind.
Nah, I'm fucking lame. Like, shots blocked. Nah, I don't do that either, bro. I don't block shots at all. Let me tell you something I don't do. Like, I don't care at what level. Dude, I'm not fucking... I'm paying to be out here, dog. That goalie's got pads on. I wear soccer shin
I'm
guards,
not
dog.
blocking shots.
Dude, I don't wear a helmet and I wear soccer shin guards. Like, I'm not getting involved in anything that's
I played D at App. I did not block shots.
No, there's no reason to, dude. Again, you're paying to be there.
You get and too much.
Yeah.
You get the hell out of the way.
Yeah,
I'm not even using my stick.
I'm telling my
breaking
goalie,
shit.
like, well, I just want to make sure you can see it because, like, you know what they say with the blocking shots. Sometimes you tip it. I look at analytics. I think.
Well, what really you are as the person not, but you're really more of like a screen who at the last second flies out of the way.
No, it's so much worse.
I was gonna say something, but I figured you had the
yeah,
because it was really fucking me up being right behind the camera. Like it was actually like really fucking me up, but I was trusting you.
Completely forgot about this.
Whoa,
Jesus.
Blurred lines. No one knows what's going on, dude.
Nobody does. Not even us.
Don't block shots. Fuck that shit.
No. Unless you're in the NHL, and even then, don't.
Yeah.
I want to see you have more high-scoring games.
Exactly. Bigger goals. Get rid of goalies. Let's play posts at the NHL level. Just play posts.
That's so boring.
Brock McGinn, though, goal leader for the Penguins.
That's hilarious. No one's gonna get that.
No one's gonna get that
Only
except Penguins fans eventually. That's something. Sidney Crosby, 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Wrist surgery, I think. So to start the season, they'll be without Malkin and Crosby.
Whatever. This will not impact their playoff chances.
You don't think so?
Nah.
You don't think with the division getting more stacked?
I mean, the Penguins, just like the Blackhawks were before the past couple seasons, like they're just a team that will always come get you when you least expect it.
Yeah, I mean Crosby will just come back on a tear, legs
And
way
Malkin
too big
can
for
do
his
it
body.
too. Anything can happen.
T-Rex legs on like a Velociraptor body looking motherfucker.
Yeah,
dude.
that team's always built. Their goaltending's a little bit more questionable.
Yeah.
But you know, in years past, rather, you know.
Yeah.
The
But I don't know if we ever even really talked about this. Speaking of Blackhawks, you see all those dudes like quietly getting they're quietly stepping down behind the scenes type shit, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking I don't remember who it was. That there's a couple guys though, right? That in the span of a few days, all quietly stepped down and all this shit.
as they should.
As they should.
Because they were there when all that Aldrich stuff was going on, so
Yeah.
they're pretty complicit.
But do you think the league's just going to use that as well, everyone who was there is gone now, so who are we even punishing? Type of thing.
I was hoping more on the positive side that now that they're stepped down, they can start cooperating with people who would want to know what happened and try and get more information. But I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? But
Don't have much faith in the league though.
no, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Not at all.
But hopefully, these folks are now going to be independent of the league.
Yeah.
And still, and hopefully, they're not putting their livelihood on the line for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Good on them if they are. But
That's true.
you just want them to be able to fucking continue their careers because they didn't do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But, trying to think, is there anything else with hockey?
Parise signed with the Islanders, so
Good for
that'll
him.
do nothing.
Why can't you do anything right?
What do you mean?
You got shit behind stuff just collapsing.
Stuff's falling apart. I heard it.
It was like something just adjusted, like a box, like something.
I heard it, and you laughed.
Yeah, it's
so I was actually laughing because, like, we did not. You were just like, let's start with what if, and then we talked about everything else.
Stuff got remembered.
Well, because I wanted to
don't block shots.
I didn't want to be rude, and I didn't want to just start talking about a fucking TV show without asking how you guys were doing.
No, I mean,
that was my whole thing.
Because you're rude.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like I was trying to say, you're rude. You can't.
It's all falling apart. What's even happening anymore?
This is so uncomfortable. I literally can't see. You're doing damage to my vision. Speaking of vision, what if? You're forcing the segue.
Look at that.
The new episode came out last week. Shit was fire, and this shit was mad dark. It got really dark really fast. It was the zombies episode, and so what happened was Hank Pym, who seems to be involved a lot with stuff, like more and more, it's always like something involving the Ant-Man stuff is relevant to these stories, even though the stories don't have anything to do with each other. Which is good because that's good marketing, I think, for the Ant-Man Quantumania movie. Probably also getting a lot of rewatches and first-time watches out of the Ant-Man stuff, which maybe a lot of people weren't really fucking with before.
Yeah.
Speaking for myself. But nonetheless, so Hank Pym goes to find Janet Van Dyne in that bitch, the quantum realm, and she contracted a quantum virus, which they don't over-explain. It's just like she became a zombie in there, which they can really go any direction with how that happened. But she becomes a zombie, bites him. They both come out because the thing with these zombies, they like retain their like sentient like knowledge of like who they are, what they're capable of, their powers, if they're superheroes and shit, and their physical capabilities. They can do shit, and they just want to eat people, and they want to turn people into zombies too. That's kind of thing. They can't talk though. They're still like all zombied out and shit, like decomposing and shit. So they come back. They get back in the thing, come back, and then infect Ant-Man, right? So the story, so it goes on, they get the whole shit. And then, like, by the end of it, there's, like, Spider-Man. Who's left? Spider-Man, T'Challa.
Agent Carter. Forgot her first name.
And ironically, someone else had to point this out, they're all the sidekicks, mind you.
Very true.
Yeah, they're all, like, the sidekicks, basically, are left.
Hope, Pym.
Yep.
Bucky, Winter Soldier.
Yep. We said T'Challa.
There's the cape.
The cape.
Doctor Strange's cape.
His cape, because you can't bite it. It's not a person.
That makes sense.
He's chilling. Very, like, he's got, like, mad, like, Aladdin's carpet vibes.
Yeah.
Which
Very
is,
much so.
Yeah, respect. So they're all that's left, the sidekicks, basically. And then zombies end picking them off one by one. But they get, like, some fucking thing where they think they know where the cure is. So they go to that signal. Turns out it's Vision in the Mind Stone. And this is where it's fucked. So he's over there at Camp Lehigh, New Jersey and shit, and the zombies, he's like using the Mind Stone to keep like a shield, basically like an invisible shield the zombies won't penetrate, and because of the mind, right? Like zombies, like see they don't miss shit. It's all like connected and shit. But he's been keeping T'Challa a prisoner there, and slowly feeding him to the zombie version of the Scarlet Witch, who got turned to a zombie. And so he's been keeping the zombie, what's her face, Wanda, fed with T'Challa, which is so fucked up. Like they find T'Challa like strapped down with one of his legs missing, and it's like tourniqueted, and he's just like, "Yo, you guys gotta get out of here." And that's
Bad things.
And that's what he was gonna do. He led them there so he could. He's like, "All right, y'all call me. I gotta feed you to Wanda, because they can't turn me. I gotta figure out how to cure her. She's too powerful. Because the thing is, she's too powerful to like get cured. He figured out how to cure Ant-Man because he found Ant-Man. Ant-Man's just a head, like on some Futurama shit. It's
Straight up.
Hilarious. No, they didn't do that with him, but he's just in a head jar, so it's Paul Rudd's head in a jar. That would have been good. Great. That would have been actually really hilarious. They didn't go that direction though.
And he's even like.
That would have been a little goofy.
He's like making jokes and shit.
I know you wanted to be Rick and Morty, but it's not gonna be Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty. Rick and
Morty. Just start saying it. Or you just gonna start?
I mean, it's like that song. A song called Rick and Morty. It's like a. It's,
you would know. You would know.
It's a meme.
You're a meme. Fucking A.
Ant-Man.
Yeah, so basically the episode ends with them getting the hell out of there. Vision is like, all right, well, I was fucked up. He pulls the Mind Stone out of his own head to kill himself, because that's how that needed to go. They get out of there, and they go to Wakanda, because they're like, let's get back to Wakanda. That's all kind of why like that's what they were doing, basically trying to find T'Challa. They go back to Wakanda, and that still doesn't change the fact that all the while Thanos was going to show up with every Infinity Stone and Infinity Gauntlet but the Mind Stone, which was just like in Infinity War, but he's a zombie. That's how the episode ends.
Thanos is a zombie?
So he shows up as a zombie. So everyone was already zombies at that point. The virus just spread like a motherfucker.
So then he probably should have killed everybody then, right?
Who should have?
Thanos? If he
Well, that's what I'm saying. The snap he's about to do, well, that's just it, right? There's a bunch of theories saying, like, well, once he gets the Mind Stone, if he succeeds, he's going to snap and he's going to create a bunch of life to keep feeding and infecting more, make more zombies. He's a zombie.
He is a zombie.
True.
Why would he want to just dust shit away?
That's fair.
As a zombie. You're fucked up now. What if?
What if?
You're
we'll never know.
We won't.
Season 2 will just be like the second parts to all these episodes.
Low key, with the way that one ended, this one was the first one where like fans were like, you kind of have to give us a part 2 now, because all these have really ended with cliffhangers and just sort of like these just like dark. Hey, this is where this is going now. They shouldn't have fucked up. They fucked up the universe. This universe is gonna collapse now. This one's like, oh shit, some shit's about to happen. We really need to see how this breaks out, because it's like I'm saying, it's gonna go anywhere. Sue shouts out, what if?
Apple lost and won a lawsuit against Epic Games, which was, I think it was kind of big in the tech space, the video game space. I guess Epic was suing Apple for the right to use their own like payment processor or whatever through their apps, which I guess originally Apple, if you had an app at the App Store, everything had to go through like iTunes or whatever, or like just the Apple Store. They took like 30% off of every transaction. But Apple won.
I know from experience, this is a guy who's bought a lot of gems on Clash of Clans.
I spent a lot of money through the...
But now I'm sitting here thinking like, man, I've put money in Apple's pockets.
Is that Epic? Is Clash of Clans Epic?
Supercell.
That's right. But Apple won in that I guess Epic was also trying to get the right for a third-party app developer to put their apps on the App Store, and I'm sure that saves money somehow, some way, not having to get approved by Apple. I don't know how that works. Never made an app. Seems hard. Doesn't seem worth it, gotta be honest. Creating
I can barely make a PDF. Barely make a PowerPoint, let alone a
Remember, and that was
app.
that was like the hustle grind thing. Everyone was like, just make an app, and then people use your app, and you can make $5,000 a month. Passive income. Remember
now
that
it's like that, but just another thing. You know, it's always just something.
It's always something.
It's Pokemon cards for like 3 weeks.
Shouts out Gary Vee. I think it still is Pokemon.
Oh, it's popular, but it's just it hit.
It's not what it was.
It hit a peak.
Yeah.
You know, its own little spike. It had a peak on some other shit when it was like you were playing Pokemon, like when it first came out and shit. But
how fucked up is that?
What's
it's
that?
Like there's like a 12-year-old kid out there that like lost out on a pack of Pokemon cards to some 30-year-old in Target. Like his mom was like, you can go get a pack of cards or whatever, and kid was like, yes, runs over, and just some like guy sees it, starts walking faster, grabs the last pack, dude.
Hilarious. Yeah, no, that's
that
like,
probably happened.
That's
like a
it
bunch.
definitely happens. It reminds me of like being at like a sporting event and the adult reaches out to snatch the ball
For
or the
real.
puck from the kid, dude.
And it's just like, are you
give
serious?
the kid the ball or
He's
the
like,
puck.
are you
Give him the
serious?
puck. Come on, holy shit.
That's fucked. But yeah, so you can use your own payment processor, but you cannot just put your own app up on the Apple Store.
Which makes sense.
It does make sense.
If one is allowed, it would seem right that you can't just hijack. It's like, as I'm saying, it's like, you know, the first thing saying you can't, you buy something from a store, right? Let's say Apple Store's physical location. You go and you buy something, you take the shit home, and then you buy an in-store or an in-game purchase for that thing that you left the store with. Why would that store get more money for that after the fact? That's ridiculous. Just like it's ridiculous to walk into go to the Apple Store at Crabtree. You walk right into that bitch, set up a lemonade stand, start selling lemonade.
Pop your green screen up.
Apple's just like, no, this is fine.
This is okay. Fine.
No, it's ridiculous. Same thing on the App Store. It's the same concept.
Yeah. Yep. And you see, Apple's also going to start... this is a little bit darker, but you know it's something Apple's doing. Seen they're going to start scanning
they don't do a lot of good stuff.
They're like scanning phones and stuff for I don't know what we can say on YouTube, but underage inappropriate material. You know what I mean? Scanning your phone galleries, and I think it's like they have like a number. Like it has to be like X number of things that meets
Snapchat
X requirements.
Doesn't say that, right?
What? Fucking D'Elia, dude. You fucking Chris D'Elia, bro.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
That's why I think I'm a big proponent of putting your age like in your social medias. That way it just lets anyone know up front, like, hey, I'm this age. Do not interact with me if you're not older than 18.
Do you think we're gonna get to a point where you have to verify your online profiles,
like driver's license,
like that type of shit?
Yeah.
For some things, almost definitely. Yeah.
I mean, I see it. Yeah, man, that's such a slippery slope.
It's dark. It's mad dark.
Is it trending that way in terms of like the necessity of keeping yourself safe and your children?
And from
and information,
and in the legal standpoint type of
all
thing.
Of
I know,
that.
like it's still pretty uncharted territory. You know, we're figuring shit out like this fucking Apple app stuff.
I mean, everything's going to a digital thing, so it really only makes sense that you have the same, like almost construct of security. Just in that world, right? Like I don't know. That's a slippery ass slope. But you're right. It's kind of. It seems only like logically trending that way, but is that a good thing? is that a healthy thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
probably
man.
not. That's what the whole new Matrix movie is going to be. Is just like.
So I did watch the trailer.
Did you watch the trailer?
Well, it came out on the 9th, so that was
okay.
It hadn't quite come out yet, but it did since this last episode. So I guess we can talk about that.
Yeah.
The trailer was fire. You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
We'll watch it after this. It was really good, but it definitely gave me the feeling of like this shit is going to be amazing and do well with the story, or it's just going to be a horrible movie. Like there's going to be no in between with this.
Is it happening after, like, where in the Matrix timeline?
It kind of, without saying it, it makes it seem like the Matrix itself had a hard reset, and Neo doesn't quite remember everything that happened, but he's back in the Matrix post everything that happened. That's kind of that's kind of the impression it gives off.
So they're just gonna remake the first movie. He's gonna come back out of the Matrix,
but
they're gonna do all the guns and everything show up scene.
But not necessarily, because it seems like it's more about like making him remember kind of just by being thrusted in the experience rather than being like reintroduced. There does look like they're recreating the scene, because like the only thing we saw of Morpheus was like a young Morpheus. So and there was like another dojo scene, but in that tease of the dojo fight, like Neo, like
what's that noise?
Sounds like my fan on my gaming PC doing this thing. That shit'll get loud if it wants to.
That's not a fan of my gaming PC. Not my streaming PC. It's my gaming PC.
My gaming PCs?
Why
I'm not that guy.
Why you guys rich shaming, dude? You guys wealth shaming me, dude.
What's a fan on my Pestily gaming PC?
Fuck those guys.
From Artesian Builds.
You're just plugging them, like.
I know. Just send me free shit.
I would also like one. Like, what do you mean?
So if we're handing those out.
If we're handing those out, my hands are out.
Up and coming stream or
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I am undeserving. Like, again, going back to that, man, what a thing I should not have received.
Hey, man.
You got to pay it forward somehow.
And, you did have to spend some money. Obviously not as much as it would cost, but it wasn't like you didn't spend some money in getting that. You know what I mean? To entering the drawing.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. No, it's 100% true. It's just like, man, that's not. I shouldn't be. That's still not it. I'm a big supporter of the Pestily community. Like I do regularly gift a lot of subs. I don't think that had anything to do with.
Oh, do you?
Winning.
Nice.
I support. Like the only type of stuff that I would do. That I do, like I never donate to streamers, but I will gift subscriptions. Like if I think Like I'm digging some shit or if
giving
like,
back to the community.
I'd rather just give people a sub than
when you
give
gift. Does he
money.
shout it out like immediately, or does he have so many that it's like a backlog of shit for him?
I think it depends on the streamer. But
I was talking about like Pestle specifically.
Nah, like I think. Well, I guess my point to that is like most streamers in general have a very like normal average response time to that type of stuff, whether it's you or anyone else. Like to the real time click to the. It seems pretty like 1-to-1, and they react like the same whatever delay it takes for them to see it on whatever screen they're looking at.
True.
Like whether it's Scump or Pestle or whoever.
True. You be gifting Scump's chat, dude.
Gifting something.
He didn't give Talking Sauce a sub, dude. Imagine that, bro.
There's no one to give.
Don't even support us, bro.
There's no one to give anybody anything. That would only pay me. Wouldn't I only get like a taste?
Yeah, but then I'm on the Talking Sauce account on Twitch, so like I would get a sub.
Oh, so
buy
you
me a sub. That's what I'm getting at, yeah.
Oh shit! You don't even have your own Twitch account?
I mean, I do.
So you'll be in people's like not that you're in people's chats, but like you'll be watching Twitch just as Talking Sauce.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
Consistently, dude. I'm in there in all the hot tub streams.
We go to our thing and our suggested views are just like people cuddling waifu pillows and shit.
Touch his dick.
That's
our chat history.
At Talking Sauce written all over their body. Like, dude, it's advertising, dude. Don't be weird.
Get her name out there.
We find all this out like Jacob, man. We gotta change the password on you, dog.
Come on, bro.
He's used those credentials to make like Brazzers accounts and like.
Guys, I've got so many months left on so many different. Give me at least 26 days.
Just one more 24-hour Amaranth stream. Just one more.
Jesus.
Oh God, that's pretty good. Why you guys gotta derail shit like
that? We've derailed like every topic so far.
I don't think we finished one topic.
We're just like, oh yeah, speaking of that shit. Fuck. Your artisan build gaming PC distracted us.
Come on, blowing up my spot.
Your Pestle artisan build gaming PC. Wait, so we were talking about the Matrix.
We were. We were. Like, so they're fighting in the dojo. Like Neo just blows it up. So it's very like shit's gonna not really quite be the same. I don't know what the whole deal's gonna be. There's no Hugo Weaving. He doesn't seem to be in it. So no Agent Smith, as it were, or at least not Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith.
Yeah, that's too bad.
But I'm curious to see just how it all goes. If anything, it might give us like a deeper understanding of how the Matrix works when it does reset. Because you remember in the Matrix trilogy, that was the 6th iteration of the Matrix. So this would now be the 7th. So it's not like it doesn't do that anyway.
Yeah.
We would just, I guess, get a look into that. And Neo had predecessors, so
that's true.
It's very curious.
Interesting. That will be interesting.
So again, I think like it'll, and they did show a tease of him running into Trinity.
Yeah.
In the Matrix, that was cool. It seemed like they didn't remember each other either, but had some sort of connection. So it seems like it's about them figuring out. And also, it also brings up a question: was the world that they knew even the world, or was that a level of the Matrix? You feel me?
The one from the previous trilogy.
If not, all the machines, because remember, these people get grown by the machines, and then through the discovery of themselves within the program, break out and free themselves from the fucking pods and shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Is that not just another level of control where they're like, you thought
you broke out? It's like that Rick and Morty episode.
It's just like that Rick and Morty episode.
Looking for a gun to put in my mouth.
Szechuan sauce, dude. They brought back McDonald's Szechuan sauce, dude. Rick and Morty.
I hate it here.
Pickle Rick, man. It's the funniest thing you've ever seen.
Dude, he turned himself into a pickle.
He turned himself into a fucking pickle.
Josh.
To get out of family therapy.
Is that why he did it?
That is why he did it.
I mean, that's a good... If you're going to do anything to get out of family therapy, turning yourself into a pickle is a pretty good strategy.
I'm Pickle Rick.
See, that, I'm not like... giving no credit to that.
No, I hate how big that became. I gotta be honest. I hate it so much. It's one of those things that people have like they turned it into their thing.
It was like a Maroon 5 song. Like they beat that shit into the ground.
But it's like
they beat that shit into the ground.
But it's like people would have like the backpacks that were like the Pickle Rick, and then it's just like, bruh.
Good episode. It wasn't like that. Like it wasn't that.
Yeah, it wasn't all that.
Kind of like every other episode of Rick and Morty. Just
you can pump the brakes there. You know what I mean?
You pump the fucking
brakes.
You go watch Rick and Morty and then tell me you may go watch MCU shit and then be like, well, pump the brakes, talking about Rick and Morty.
Well, yeah, you know what I'm saying? With the Loki shit, it's kind of the same thing, right?
It's not kind of the same thing.
The guy said
it's not.
He was like, I borrowed the whole thing from him, yeah.
Citadel of Bricks, TVA, it's the same thing.
We got like 20 more minutes.
We're just going to recount.
Pissing me off.
All right, so Jake, what is your favorite episode of Rick and Morty?
My favorite episode of Rick and Morty? I'm be honest, it's the train episode.
That one is incredible.
The train episode, because it kind of shit on the whole fan base.
It did, it
was good.
Yeah,
it was really good. What's your favorite, dude?
Probably like I've only seen so many. Probably the one with the where they go to neuter the dog and then they give it the thing where it can talk and then the dog gets too smart, built itself better technology.
Yeah. That was a good one.
And the dogs take over the world.
For a second, I thought you were just gonna start telling like a Family Guy episode, just on some.
They're only so
shit.
far off from each other at the end of the day. It's a corny cartoon. Also, the Mr. Meeseeks one's pretty good.
Mr. Meeseeks is pretty good.
Yeah. The Family Guy is trash. Family Guy is...
Talk about overrated.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
Fuck.
Like, it's not like, you could put it... Like, anyone can put it on. It's not gonna, like... It's not like torture, but, like...
It's not bad.
Goddamn, is it not that good?
Like, it's impressive it lasted that long.
It
still goes.
Like, it's at the bottom of every single animated... Just like, What's-His-Face's animated work in general.
Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, like, all his shows, you put those at the bottom of every other... PG to PG-13 R-rated adult entertainment. Like it's, I can't think of anything. Like everything on Adult Swim, like original Adult Swim cartoons are far above and beyond better written.
Robot Chicken.
Oh, it's genius.
Was that his though?
He might have contributed to some
Seth
point.
Green.
All Seth Green, but he might have had episodes where he contributed. I can definitely see them collaborating.
Yeah.
Wasn't Seth Green a voice in Family Guy?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah, so
They probably look at
Seth
us.
Green be voicing though.
He do be voicing.
Yeah.
He be using that voice.
Not that Seth MacFarlane's not talented, obviously. The guy
obviously is.
does music, sings, whatever, acting and all that shit, writer. But like, relax.
How heavily involved do you think he even is at this point?
Not that much, actually.
Yeah, I feel like it's just a writing room, and he's just like, that's my shit.
He
just kind of like writes off, like signs everything off.
And that's why South Park's better, because
they're still
Trey
and
Matt are in their sweaty armpit t-shirt in the trenches of those writer rooms.
For real.
Running around, eating chicken nuggets.
For real. Man, I can't imagine that like doing that job at the beginning. Like when they started, bro. Like I hated editing video for this. Like you know what I'm saying?
They were taking construction paper, and putting it under a camera and fucking making scenes out of that. That's dedication, bro. That's what
surprised they're even still friends. At this point, dude, bent over a fucking.
It's true.
Crazy.
That's true. Like I hate you guys. Like.
Dylan, what's your favorite episode of Rick and Morty, dude? Of South Park.
Of not.
That one would be much harder.
That's pretty difficult. It'd take me a long time
to
think about.
Probably the Citadel of Ricks one, the one where Evil Morty becomes president.
Good one.
You guys do know that
I like all the ones that
you do know that all this MCU stuff is based on comics that came out way before Rick and Morty, so
Rick
it would
and
all
Morty
be
is original. So
it would all be inspired by and from these comics first.
Well, depending on which timeline that Rick is in, you know what I'm saying? It kind of
like all the timeline stuff. Was comics. Like we're still going off comic material in the MCU.
Nah.
We are.
Well,
very much so are.
Nah.
They are.
Nah.
I hate it here. It's not like Game of Thrones where they ran out of books and they were like, well, let's just make up this shit and the shit got bad. At least it's not that.
At least it's not that.
At least it's not that.
I only saw the first and last episode of Game of Thrones. It's the only 2 episodes.
That is fucked up, dude. That's the most fucked up thing I've heard in my life.
We talked about this.
I've only seen the very first and very last episodes.
And
honestly, the timelines that are started in the first episode are pretty much all
We talked about how
up.
that's all you actually need to get the show. That's all you actually truly need, and it's so bad.
All right.
This guy sucks, dude.
He doesn't want to hear about it.
Yeah, spent a lot of time avoiding that shit. Still mad.
Man.
Staying mad.
It's all right,
that
dude.
Shit hurt.
Have they put out that last book yet?
There's 2 more books.
2 more? No?
No.
So, and I feel like we've talked about this. Are they just going to rewrite? Are they going to just write the show in book form, or is it supposed to be its own thing?
Oh, I mean, it's definitely. It has to be its own thing at this point. Like, there's so many things that are way too different.
I think
from
there's.
the show,
I think there's the one main aspect of Bran being king, right?
Yeah.
I think that'll probably play out.
The story of was the guys who created the show were told what everyone's final outcome would be, but gave no clarification to how they were going to get there.
Interesting.
Which is why the show made no sense at the end. But yeah,
He also
way too
quizzed
much
him. He
going
was
on.
like, "Who's Jon Snow's father?" Mother.
That's how they got the deal. Because that information still isn't known in the books. They just guessed, and I guess they were right, or it was a good guess. But
there you go.
yeah, you don't gotta watch it. You don't watch anymore than what you did.
I'm rewatching Friends for the 6th time, dude. That's how I spent.
I took you seriously for a
And
second.
you won't watch the MCU.
That show is unbearable. I can't watch an episode of Friends.
It's kind of the same thing.
Well,
MCU.
Laugh track shows.
Yeah.
You know the exception?
Sitcoms aren't horrible.
No, but Frasier though, dude. Frasier's
good.
fucking hilarious.
I can tolerate Seinfeld more than I can tolerate Friends.
I don't really like
Agreed.
Seinfeld that much either, though.
But it's better than Friends.
Yeah.
Can't stand Friends.
Jennifer Aniston though. She didn't wear a bra in the 90s.
Horrible Bosses, We're the Millers. Get it in Horrible Bosses too. I'll tell you.
It's not really the character you should put on a pedestal.
Well.
Well.
What do you mean,
Well,
well?
yeah.
She raped 3 people in that movie.
Damn, you're right.
Yeah. That was the whole thing with her.
It was her whole thing. That's why she was horrible. Idiot.
That's true.
No, but I get it.
looking like
a mean stare at the time.
Looking like fucking Jake Paul looking up at the clock in the boxing round and shit, dude. Just man, I'm getting through it, but this shit's longer than a motherfucker, right?
Oh man.
Just doing those deep mouth breaths.
Oh shit. That's funny, dude. 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves,
Announce
dude.
the roster additions of Octane, the Prince, Dylan Envoy. I'm pretty stoked.
Just from the surface level, man, it looks like hopefully the CDL will be a little bit more competitive next year.
Very balanced out rosters. At least it seems to be getting that way. I mean, you would think that the 100 Thieves organization would do everything, and they, I think that's why we should give them more slack as a community for doing these crazy roster changes, because this is an org that needs to be up there with FaZe and Optic in terms of competition, because the brand's that big, they have that much pressure.
Yeah.
So
collab with Gucci, you know what I mean? There's a lot of potential there to get just to be huge,
and there's a lot of failure to get. If you don't succeed, so they got to do it now.
Yeah.
This looks like that. I mean, you got a veteran, obviously, in Octane, Kenny as well.
They've played together before.
Right, and they're both super talented. Draws has been doing his shit, and then, of course, Dylan's fucking goated already.
Yeah.
So, good team.
Real good team. Did you see him on the flank? They had Octane and Envoy on.
No.
They had them both on, and it really just turned into because at the end, Zoom always goes to the COD Reddit or the flank Reddit, whichever. Here's who we're having on. What are some questions? So I mean, it's all just Optic fanboys in the comments, what the fuck, basically. And but he was saying they never watched any VOD. He was talking about how they got into talking about just he was like, I had to chalk a couple scrims just because like guys weren't sleeping, like literally just weren't getting sleep on the team and all this stuff. And then Ben, the other co-host, and Envoy, to his credit, like there's been some shit on the timeline, was very much like this wasn't anybody individually. Like as they've been saying all year, like the team all loved each other. And they did great in all like the practices. He's like, it just never translated, and he's like, none of us really seemed like we were interested in working that hard to change it. And I feel like part of that might be because if you love showing up to your job so much, you love everyone you're working with, where it's like, we're not doing awful, but we're not doing as good as we probably should be doing, but I'm mad comfortable, you know what I mean? So,
well, and you got to also take into the personalities, and this is nothing against Scump, but like, that just could be where his mental's at. He might not even want it to be there, but that could just be where it's at. And when you've done as much as he has in the competition scene, it's just kind of acceptable to him, probably.
Yeah, and that's Formal mentioned that in his retirement. He was like, just the grind of getting good at the game is just no longer appealing to him. And I don't know, I feel like, yeah, definitely, if you've been doing it forever, and you can kind of feel that, I think, where like guys are talking. He was saying like in content stuff, like, no, I never play the game outside of like our practices and stuff. And if you're not having super productive practices and you're not playing the game outside of it, then it's like
you're not that into it.
Yeah, that into it. And it's like it's you know.
Yeah, I mean that, and who knows where Dashy sits and all that too.
But that's what I was kind of. So like to Envoy's credit, he was saying it was a team thing, not anyone individually. Because I know people have been trying to say he was going on there like talking shit about like Dashy and stuff with the whole sleeping thing, but it was because
motherfucker don't sleep.
No, it was because Ben, the co-host, like right after Envoy said the stuff about like chalking scrims for sleep and stuff like that, he was like, yeah, like we had that problem on FaZe with Celium for a little bit, but all we had to do was talk to him. He was like, but he was a rookie. You have guys who have been in the league 3 or 4 years now, which is Dashy, and he was like, and you know. They still just don't do it. You've seen Crim6 talk about like the shit he was talking about, and then Dashy put out just like some emoji, like the eyeglass, the spectacle thing, and like you know what I'm saying. So there's probably gonna be a little beef between the two of them.
Well, I know Kenny and Dashy kind of had some competitive beef too, right?
Well, it was Formal and Kenny. They were liking each other's tweets back and forth.
Well, I just mean at the I'm talking about back when Optic Gaming fell out and Dashy and Kenny were teaming.
Yeah.
And that part of that fallout was them saying, and you know, kind of Kenny I think was saying to Dashy's work ethic and practice and shit like that too.
Well, I mean, you even saw, and I'm a fan of Dashy, obviously, but he did like when they did the little end of year wrap-up thing, and it's like Dashy was the only one not there, and like, yeah, he's probably sleeping.
Damn.
Where it's just kind of like, it's like, bro, like this is like, how do you
not important, man?
But
he's still on the team.
Yeah, but it's just I feel like if it was really a problem, like that seems like some shit that Hex would sort out real quick. Like, hey, I'm paying you a lot of fucking money to be on this team, and I think you're super fucking talented, but we have when you're a part of Optic, you are on a CDL team and you are on a content team as well. These are part of the reason you get paid so much is because of the B part of this too, type of thing.
Yeah.
So I just wonder how much of a problem it really is.
I think that's where a lot of the criticism comes into play for Hex being friends with everybody, and there's that potential that he might not make those things a big talking point to the players because he's just that cool with them, and it's not he might just not feel any type of way.
Yeah.
And just again, you talk about being comfortable.
Yeah.
Motherfucker could be mad comfortable and then said, "Yo, what do you want to do to make this team right?" He said, "Well," and he being Scump said, "Yo, man, I love Matt, but we got to drop him, and Dylan, I don't think it's working out either." And he's like, "Let's see if we can get fucking Shotzi and Illy. I know you want to team back up with what's his face. Let's do that." And Hex was like, "Bet," and here we are.
I feel like with that, it was Hex coming to Scump after having figured out the merger. Be like, listen,
give me your roster.
This is what's happening. Who
stays, who goes,
and then also Hastro coming over like, well, here the guy like. I went and talked to Shotzi, and here's the guys that he wants to keep in them.
I'm sure Krim was like, "I ain't buy."
Well, I think to that point, I think it was more Hastro saying, "Yo, Krim,
good
dude." Like,
there's no way anything against Krim. It's just like that means that he knew what he wanted to do.
Yeah,
in terms of Hastro, and
Yeah.
Probably knowing that he's probably saving Krim from himself there too, and being like, you don't even want to have to make this decision.
Yeah.
Let me make it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. But so just to all that shit online, it did seem like Envoy was very like, and I'm sure part of it's political, but very much like it was on everybody. The team was great, like no bad blood.
And there can be.
And then at the end, he did say, "But I did learn." He's like, "I learned did a whole thing about how much he had learned from T2P and stuff." And it was like the only one he didn't really specifically mention about like nothing specifically bad, but also nothing like specifically good was Bruce.
There can be tension, and motherfuckers still be cool, like with each other at the end of the day. And just have a little bit of tension because a thing you guys tried to do together didn't work out. That's okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean like that fucking they can't ever hang out again. They can't be cordial. Or they can't ever team again. Or maybe because things don't work out well enough, maybe they can't team again. And that's all. The point is that's also okay.
Yeah.
It ain't always personal.
Dude, speaking of, this was some shit. What didn't you send us a tweet the other day? Something about talking about people getting paid in the NHL or something like that. You remember what I'm talking about?
Sorry, go ahead.
Didn't you send a tweet something about like the NHL?
Oh, it was on the Steve Dangle podcast. They had a guy on, Alan Walsh, who's a fucking agent, and he was talking. And it was just they were just posing a question on the timeline, and it was like, should something this guy was saying like, should the salary cap be
gotten rid of?
And like, no.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, one, where's that money coming from? Secondly, no.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean, dude? This isn't the MLB.
Yeah, for real.
It doesn't make any sense.
Major League Soccer.
I understand that you would like some more money because you're an agent, and so if a fucking third liner is getting paid $10 million a year, you're gonna be doing great as an agent.
For real.
So this is very in your interest to say, yeah, let's just get rid of it. I mean, there could be some like bureaucratic like other benefit, like, no, if we do this, then this, and then benefits can go like this. If there's like something to that, then I'm ignorant to it, fine. But otherwise, like, I just don't see how that makes any actual sense.
For real.
Like, from a business model standpoint, how does anyone make money if players are allowed to ask for a number that is exuberant beyond
Well,
earnings?
then it just opens up to like, I mean, then Toronto literally just wins every year.
I guess that's it. Who can pay the most?
It would just be Toronto being like, no, we're paying Austin Matthews $60 million a year. He's taken care of. And we're also paying fucking,
Ovechkin.
Our third line winger another $10 million. Why the fuck not?
What Ovechkin taking Washington?
I don't remember.
Like, it was something
pennies
very reasonable.
Pennies compared to what he could have gotten.
Come finish out and beat Gretzky's record with Matthews and Marner passing the puck. Here's $30 million.
Yeah, we're gonna put you on the second line. You're only gonna get on the offensive zone, and you get to yell at whoever you want.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard now.
To that point, just kind of NHL players getting paid and COD. I was seeing a thing talking about. It was a whole thread about just like how players are getting paid right now in the CDL. And it broke down like profit percentages of each professional league in America, like what the league makes versus how much gets paid out to the players. And the NHL was one of the highest of that. Like they were, I think, one of the few that were at or over 50% of the money made is paid out in player salary. Take a guess at what the CDL was. Take a guess.
20.
384%. They're getting paid the player salaries 384% based on what the league has made. And I guess this was the thing when like players are getting signed initially, is guys are saying like, listen, you're gonna get wild contracts here at the beginning, and part of that's probably like a hype factor almost. You know what I mean? Hype around the league. But a lot of these deals, I know there was a guy, they didn't specify who, in this first year was making like $250,000 like a year. In his second year, it's dropped down to like, I think it was like $75,000 a month or something wild like that, and now it's dropped down to like $15,000 a month, which is still, you're doing fine. But it's like if you've set up a lifestyle for $75,000 a month and haven't thought about the fact that next year that shit gets cut in half, you know. But
interesting.
It is again. It's kind of
well. That also speaks to the levels of interest that the league puts into it, because not that these players aren't getting paid a lot, but like if they're making 300% more, then where's the incentive?
Exactly. And I was going to say that on top of like all the Blizzard stuff that's going on top of just like the fact that, I mean, they had they were making no money online.
They need to partner with like some sort of like, not like a marketing thing, but like some sort of other gaming entity that can go in and like create these like custom lobbies and create
kind of hand over control.
Yeah, and that way it can just have a some sort of infrastructure that the players want to promote. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that seems like sell a server, like, and just let something like that. Yeah,
because there's obviously like a contention between the players in the league all the time. They're always getting fined for talking bad about it.
Yeah,
you know, you think it'd be a little bit more of a,
which is weird too, man.
It's such a small thing. You think everyone would be cool, like
and just with the way these guys, like these pro players, only give a fuck about playing the game. You know what I mean? And you have very few guys like Scump, guys like Zuma, where it's like, if you leave a bad taste in their mouth post playing career, like they're gonna have no interest in being like, why the fuck would I go back and stream these matches that are going on? Because I mean, why would I try to help those guys? They made the last couple of years of my career hell.
Yep.
Kind of ruined it all for me. You know. So
I agree.
There's a lot they could do, I think. But they got to figure out that 300% number. So I don't know if you lower it by making more money.
Well, I guess it makes sense too, right? Because like, where's the potential to make more money of late with no, with low fans in attendance, because you can only have so many. They just started having fans in attendance not too long ago. They don't sell merch.
Yeah.
Only the teams sell merch. You're not selling concessions. You're not. Where are you making your money back? You're just paying players.
Yeah. And I mean, guys like the Thieves, guys like Optic, they can make that. They can close those margins with content. But it's like, I don't know if it's people just don't care about the other team's content. Those guys just aren't as good at, or aren't as entertaining
or interested in promoting themselves.
But that's so crazy to me. Like, why wouldn't you? You can, even if it's a small community of people, if you're getting like 2K views a video, which is compared to some guys is nothing.
Well, like you said, some of them.
Why not build yourself?
A lot of the pros go into it just wanting to play that game, and for some of them, that doesn't mean exposing yourself to a large number of people while doing it. It just means you like playing it and you like competing. You'd be just as fine doing that in a living room with no one watching if you got paid the same.
Yeah.
And that's just some of the pros, right?
Yeah.
That's just. They're also fucking video game guys. They're super introverts. They're nerds.
They're nerds.
So they're super introverted.
Dude, I don't know how, as a player in that league, you couldn't kind of look at the whole thing and be like, even if I just put out videos of me just fucking people up in public matches, just putting up crazy, people probably don't care about it that much type of thing, but it's like that's still, if you just put the content out there, I feel like it's good for the game. It's good for people like, oh, this guy's frying. Let me go see. Like, if pros are a whole group of people that drop 100 kills in a lobby, like, what the fuck goes on there?
Yeah.
I don't know how you couldn't be interested in just promoting yourself, the league, just especially if you're young, man. Like, if you want to do this forever, or at least for another 6 years, like, people have to give a fuck about watching your game.
Yeah.
Whatever that game is.
For sure.
I don't know, dude. I'm not a pro.
I'm not.
That's for sure.
I'm not pro at anything.
It's all right, man.
Did we do it?
I think we did it.
We did it.
Jake. Go to the corner.
Jake.
Where
up, can they get us, dude, if they want to fucking online bully me, dude?
If you want to hit up Josh and ask him what's in his Pestily Artesian Bill's gaming PC, you can hit us up at Talkin Sauce Pod, no underscore. Respect the underscore. If you're watching, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Got the podcast every Monday, Scrum every Wednesday. You can get me at JCobb, JAY_COBBB. Josh.
You meant it.
Do it.
Find me on Reddit, D-Bags, among 69420 lowercase x, capital X.